Kigima omwanchu murigeria bwigetaseni Ensoko no gasemeria kwane kwa bere kugutwara uburigeria boro bya kigima na ndengu nebiro bindengo kwaligania asemesa ya mangana maya tumulikere aliagendete kwene kigwa kurwa chingongo chionsi inye chinsekero chire chitariki 3 cyumutenyi oikomena kabere umwaka oyoiga bwechiri bubere 25 ensane yemo yabona magoroba imigetaseni Ensoko asemesa ya mangana maye nyuru mwanchi murigeria ayonsi nabo kuyabwate gwetera sensemeri emitandao ensemo ya Facebook Ensoko TV nabo igo ensemeri ya YouTube Ensoko TV chiga kitoro cyo mugavana we county ya Nyamira Emos Nyeribo abakagwikigwa bosi we senator Sama Mucho amobwatreniti maiga higatiaba MCA ku mwaka isiko sikobe ku muswada bo ku mwaka isiko nabo igo gwikirania ekerengo kelia keganeirio mwanchi muriria ndochikomulikira ayu abakago korekana bosi we senate tokumanye asenchera yobwagale boigo litkolya lero mwanchi murigereria nigo lyarengeri tkolyo gochengera abali marete ensengima asechi county achaba chigwikirania litukeliga nabo igo kubolya Kenya kweneke buna ngosikabale nabo igo ngweneke balenga abale marete ngoso abale asichinsemo wikirania amagende kondo mwanchi muriyelia ayonga tiari ngwaliganete asomogorobo lero toskatonyegera ngwira nanda segekeke kerebosyo linde ngumanye amangelia nenkerubo Frida nabaltoko bwaterana asoko neke buna chibicha niliogiria gukera sole asenchera yabene nere Brian Achaka Felistas Kabendi nabaigo tolde Karibu sana mwanchi murigeria tosanga sobwamo gochaka bono iga goika omoelio kuyachaka amaya yebire biga nigo tukuyachakira kurwa sensemeri ya Senate asengo kumenya no muswada bo ku mwaka isiko mugavana we county ya Nyamira Emos Nyeribo nigo bagukoikiwa litkolya lero bosi we Senate okwana omonogeri we Senate Amason King nigo abaga kwerera ekikirerete muswada yogo ikigwa we Senate ase baba bakumulikira naki aba MCA babete bagwaka chikura naboigo mbabete bakumurikira ekerengo kelia keganeire korengana nelichiko.
This was a matter requiring evidence to be adduced, including the examination and cross-examination of the said county assembly members, and accordingly, this was not a matter that could be determined at a preliminary level without hearing the evidence. Kericho 2 was therefore ruled to belong to the second category of preliminary objection that can only be reasonably subsumed in the full hearing, but for which a determination by the Senate would have to be made at the end before the proceedings to vote on the charges. The question, therefore, is whether the current preliminary objection belongs to the jurisprudence of Kericho 1 or Kericho 2. Now, honorable senators, in the current impeachment proceedings, it is not in contention that there were 19 members in the County Assembly of Nyamira present and voting at the time of impeachment. Secondly, although there is contestation about the validity of the votes purportedly cast by proxy by another 4 members, there is no contestation that the total number of members who voted did not exceed 23 members. The County Assembly, by its own admission, has submitted a list of 23 members as having supported the impeachment. The governor's side, on the other hand, object to this impeachment on the basis that the correct threshold should have been 24 members rather than any lesser number. What is in contention, therefore, is whether the threshold of members required to have voted in the matter is 24 or 23 or lesser number. What is additionally in contention is whether in reckoning the 2/3 threshold, the number of members of the County Assembly is to be applied as 35 or 32. The legal question in contention is whether the number of legislators of the County Assembly remains fixed and unaffected by any vacancies for the purposes of reckoning thresholds, or whether, as Councillor Katwa Keegan for the County Assembly argues, it is a moving target that cannot be reckoned in advance and depends on the membership of the Assembly at a particular time, having subtracted any vacancies existing. Now, honourable senators will appreciate that this is a constitutional and legal questions of the most fundamental ramifications, the decision on which reverberate far and wide and well beyond Nyamira County Assembly, and possibly including this chamber, where at various times and for various reasons we have had vacancies. The decision the Senate takes on this legal question will no doubt bind us going forward in the manner in which we reckon delegations for purposes of voting when there are vacancies in the Senate. From this perspective, it is clear to me that even though a number of matters of fact were raised by the County Assembly in their preliminary objections and fundamental legal questions of threshold, and whether the correct number of delegations that were required to impeach the governor of Nyamira County at the time of the impeachment was undertaken was 24 or 23 or any lesser number is a pure question of law whose determination by the Senate is necessary before these proceedings.
Nonyana bo nigo mugavana Amos Nyaribo abagakwererwa amamocho ali amubwatiraniti ati abo kogenda mamincha nerichiko ase obwanchira ebikaro abokorekana isiko ye bunge ye county ya Kisii. Ebikaro ebyo mbiri bibwatiraniti aba MC ababete bakwiyongolia nabo igokorosia bunge la mashinani.
His Excellency Governor Amos Kimomi Nyaribo consistently and deliberately supported and engaged with gatherings of unlawful, illegal and unconstitutional bunge mashinani, which conducted its meetings from October 31st, 2024 up to June 2025 in locations away from the lawful and official gazetted premises of County Assembly and without lawful appointment. 7. Further, the governor made public pronouncements declaring Enoch Ogori Okero and Sylvanus Ndemo Nyamora as the legitimate speaker and clerk respectively, while aware that Enoch Ogori Okero was duly impeached. 8. The governor's actions to formally engage, endorse and support unlawful, illegal and unconstitutional bunge mashinani directly undermined the legislative representation and oversight role of the County Assembly of Nyamira as established by the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and County Governments Act 2012, thereby constituting a gross violation of the rule of law and the principle of separation of powers. Allegation 2, gross violation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the County Government Act 2012 and the Public Finance Management Act 2012 by assenting to the Nyamira County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024 without the approval of the County Assembly of Nyamira. Whereas Article 175A of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires that the county government shall be based on the democratic principles and separation of powers, whereas Article 185(1) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 states that the legislative authority of a county is vested in and exercised by its county assembly, whereas Article 224 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 states that on the basis of the Division of Revenue Bill passed by Parliament under Article 218, each county government shall prepare and adopt its own annual budget and appropriation bill in the form and according to the procedure prescribed in an Act of Parliament, whereas Section 21, subsection 1 of the County Governments Act 2012 requires that the County Assembly shall exercise its legislative power through bills passed by the County Assembly and assented to by the Governor, whereas Section 130 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 provides for the procedures of processing a county budget, including transmission from the county executive to the county assembly for consideration and approval. 1. The governor on 26 November 2024 assented to the Nyamira County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024 without the approval of the County Assembly of Nyamira.
Tinga kyecho boigoni gobairari mochori mubwatiraniti omugavana Amos Nyaribo ase ogosuguma kulika abakori emirimo ime county ya Nyamira maminja neri chiko na boigo gotabwatia e budget ye county eyo.
Excellency Amos Nyaribo presided over and influenced the approval of recruitment of staff without an approved budget as demonstrated in County Executive Minutes MIN number 04/02/2021 of 26 February 2021 in his response to an inquiry from the Controller of Budget. This recruitment was approved by the County Executive with full knowledge that there was no budgetary provision. In the said response to issue number 4 in the question, the Governor alleged that in lieu of the budget, the recruitment was based on the savings made from various separations, which included but not limited to recruitment and resignations. 2, despite a resolution of a County Assembly to freeze new employments on account of lack of budgetary provision for any recruitment dated 1st July 2021, which freezing was never vacated by a resolution of the County Assembly. 3, further, in spite of an advisory from the Secretary of the County Public Service Board dated 29 July 2021 to the County Executive to put the impurged recruitment in abeyance, considering that there is no budgetary provision for any new recruitment. 4, His Excellency Amos Nyaribo has to date proceeded with a recruitment frenzy that has ballooned the county wage bill, making it unsustainable, irresponsible, and imprudent, contrary to the provisions of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. 5, the Governor's influence over the recruitment of hundreds of staff without budget in defiance of EACC advisory and County Assembly resolutions for political expediency and personal gain constitutes a clear abuse of office aimed at fiscal plunder and violation of constitutional values and principles of governance.
Rimocho ria gatatu iriria bwatiraniti omugavana Amos Nyaribo ndiringa asomwaka bwechiri 2019 nigo omugavana aesogete na gwakanwa arakabere ebili ya nyagitari no nyamagega ensemeri ya NHIF gwakana ebili eyo.
A habit of conferring upon himself irregular benefits going by other incidences. For instance, in the year 2019, the governor caused to be paid a retrospective compensation of Kenya shilling 13 million in allowances for housing, bracket, a benefit, not an allowance, and made a double medical claim in form of ex gratia, despite full settlement of his medical bills by the defunct NHIF, all outside of SRC guidelines, which clearly demonstrate a pattern of personal enrichment, abuse of office, and direct violation of PFM Act. 5, this direct financial benefit to the governor constitutes a direct loss of public funds and demonstrates a clear case of personal enrichment through corrupt practices and abuse of office. Allegation number 4, abuse of office through systemic payroll fraud and syndicate, the Kenya shilling 32 million payroll haste. 1, besides an irregular receipt of Kenya shilling 5,649,706 has already established, in particular, allegation 2.3, the governor presided over a well-orchestrated syndicate of payroll fraud, which led to massive loss of public funds through huge, irregular, and unexplained salaries and specified and special allowances paid to Mrs. Rose Bosibori Guto, an ECD teacher. bracket Kenya shillings 25,018,852. Ms. Gladys Mora Nyambane, an ECDE teacher, bracket Kenya shilling 1,100,467. And Mr. Isaac Kerongo Onchiri, an ECD teacher, Kenya shilling 700,836. 2, while under oath, during his appearance before the Senate's Public Accounts Committee, the governor admitted to have received the illegal benefit.
Nanya nabo nigo mugavana Amos Nyaribo aikirana abosi bwe Senate asaba kagosomerwa amamocho ayonsi amubwatiraniti kurinde nigaba kagotuguterare amamocho ayo.
His Excellency Amos Kimomi Nyaribo presided over and influenced the approval of recruitment of staff without an approved budget as demonstrated in County Executive Minutes MIN number 04/02/2021 of 26 February 2021 in his response to an inquiry from the Controller of Budget. This recruitment was approved by the County Executive with full knowledge that there was no budgetary provision. In the said response to issue number 4 in the question, the Governor alleged that in lieu of the budget, the recruitment was based on the savings made from various separations, which included but not limited to recruitment and resignations. 2, despite a resolution of a county assembly to freeze new employments on account of lack of budgetary provision for any recruitment dated 1st July, Honorable Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, how do you plead to the 2 grounds, guilty or not guilty? Ground 1.
Not guilty.
Ground 2.
Not guilty.
Maiga yogotegerera amamochari abwatiraniti umugavana wa county ya Nyamira Amos Nyaribo nigegati ya baseneta benyorera libaga ryokorwa ebirengeri byabo kubwatikana na mamochayo okwana abosi bwe Senate omo Senator Aaron Cheriot nigo agania abaseneta bamwabo kwira libaga ryokumurikira ali abereka gokorekana ase county ya Nyamira ase kolende abagakwenekibuna aba MCA mbaikiraniti ekerengo kiria keganire asoko mwaka isiko umugavana we county yo.
Mathematics, Mr. Speaker, is plain and simple. You know that 12 divided by 2 is 6. And you know that if you want to get a third of that 12, Mr. Speaker, then it is 4. If you want 2/3, it is 8. And you'd imagine that in many of our county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, especially following through with the decision that his House made barely a year ago in the first impeachment proceedings against the governor of Kericho County, Mr. Speaker, county assemblies will be aware of the decision of this House, because this House made the decision that there is no quarter or half of a human being. That if you move on to the next, so long as it is a decimal, even if it is 0.1, then it means you go to the next, because the language of the Constitution is not less than, Mr. Speaker. That tells you it cannot be below. If it is 12 and you have 12.1, already 12, it is less than. Therefore, it cannot qualify. And it is for that reason that we have said that so long as you have a decimal beyond the 0.00, you go to the next number. That having been the case, Mr. Speaker, and if our colleagues from the County Assembly of Nyamira had taken time to read through the provisions and the ruling that this House made in that matter last year, Mr. Speaker, they will have appreciated that the requisite quorum as prescribed in law would have been 24, Mr. Speaker. The second item, which is something that I find quite strange, Mr. Speaker, that it is even in their standing orders, because that's what I had Counsel for the Assembly say. And I say this a lot with tremendous respect to Advocate Katwa Kigen, because he's a senior counsel, somebody I respect, a friend of mine, Mr. Speaker, that in the County Assembly of Nyamira, their standing orders provide for an alien creature, alien to any legislature world over, has a provision called voting by proxy. I have never heard of such an animal, Mr. Speaker. Even as you know, if you follow the proceedings of this House, Mr. Speaker, before we take any vote, the sergeant at arms, after the division bell is rung, always move round to ensure that the voting booth, all the 67 of them, if it is not occupied by an individual voting, then that machine is inactive by removal of the card. That is to prevent exactly that, because it is not possible to transfer your delegated legislation role, Mr. Speaker.
Singa kecho boigo maseneta bwe county ya Kisii Richard Mumoima Onyonka nigo aine kebuna nigo abaseneta babwenete kumulikira obukoleri bwe county ya Nyamira na boigo kwa aba MCA gose abamenye be county yo obwene bwabo emega yo kumulikira amamuchalia mu bwaternity mu governor Amos Nyaribo.
This matter has been running for as long as I remember, since I became a senator in this house. Members of the County Assembly have constantly disagreed over the issues in Nyamira, and on several occasions different individuals have been blamed for the issues that have been happening and the things that have been happening in Nyamira. I don't want to spend a lot of time explaining those things. Mr. Speaker, even when that is a very complex and maybe completely political issue which needs to be sorted out, I stand and defend my positions based on the law. If the law is what we have decided to follow as a people who want good governance and administration, who want to provide services to their people, then, Mr. Speaker, we really have to agree that we are going to follow the law. My wish would have been that we listen to all the charges that have been brought, but then that means that we would have preempted the discussions about the issues of the PO and indeed the rest of this case. My suggestion would be, if members of this House feel that the threshold was not reached, then we accept that as a position. And the problem that I was unable to interrogate, Mr. Speaker, was that in Nyamira there were 3 members of the County Assembly who were not there when these elections were taking place. Not the ones who traveled, but there are about 3, I think 2 were having by-elections the other day, and 1, I think, had passed on. And they had not been at the assembly for close to 2 years. So what many people were asking me as I was sitting here is, the fact that these people who've been at the county assembly have only been 23, what does it mean? My worry is, if you are going to impeach Mr. Nyaribo with 21 or 22 members of the county assembly, and this House convicts, there's a likelihood the court will actually refuse to convict. And Mr. Speaker, what I would want to encourage my colleagues here is that let us follow the law and make a decision whether that law is good or bad. My point, Mr. Speaker, is that we have set precedent, and the precedent is there on Kericho 1, there's precedent on Kericho 2, and all that precedence does exist.
Lituko lia lero nigo abali malite ime county ya Kisii babwatana na bamwabo ensengima ochengera lituko lia balia bale no bolema ime yensemo yomwara cha Okisi culture korengana na barabo nigo osikorengana no muteneneri bwekyombe ky'abantu bale no bolema gia National Council for Persons with Disabilities ime county ya Kisii James Escon nigo aerere kirenga lituko lia lero Ensoko Bwakire abale no bolema ase obokoleri muteneneri bw'obukoreri bw'abana ime county ya Kisii Patrick Awino nigonere aganirie amasikani asabare n'oburema baigo muteneneri w'ikiombe gya nakada agikeire bali bagutumika abare n'oburema konia mariogo yogotindia nigo bono egati ya bali n'oburema bagokeire obokonyi banyorire na kuburia ogosirwa ase chinchira akorwa ase chiserikali mulikito Petro Machini na mange Ichikuria rero ni gabonzo bali babwatu barema ime county ya Kisii babwatana na bamwe bensinkima gucengera ichikuria bali babwatu barema ime yensemo ya Kisii Culture Hall kuringana n'umuteneri w'ikiombe cy'abantu bari no barema gya National Council for Persons with Disabilities ime county ya Kisii James Esekon nigo ayereire kirenga kiri ichikuria rero.
Today's theme was fostering disability inclusive societies for advancing social progress. So we are calling all stakeholders from various that there is no development with anyone is left behind. There is no any progress that is made, and we are encouraging that every institution, either public or private, to ensure that disability mainstreaming has been upheld and the policies in terms of accessibility of buildings or any other accessibility is being upheld.
Asenseme muteneni wo county commissioner Joseph Maina nigatebire miroberio yokubwatirana egati serikali nene ye county erigokonya abari no barema.
We as government were also able to enumerate the nature and kinds of benefits available to people living with disabilities. Specifically, we were able to enumerate the policy, the government, the national and county government policies on people living with disabilities. We have been able to give one wheelchair. We have also been able to give a few walking equipment to these people.
Muteneri bw'obukoreri bw'abana ime county ya Kisii Patrick Awino nigasensema yaene eraganirie masikani asabare no barema bwigo muteneri w'ikiombe gya nakada agikeire bali bagutumika abarema konya amariogo yogotindia.
There's what we call disability etiquette. Disability etiquette is a matter of saying persons with disability, not a person living with disability. Because to us, as per the Disability Act, that one is somehow derogatory. So it's more or less like it is better for us to be inclusive in terms of dignity, in terms of integrity, in terms of respect, and also in terms of considering us part and parcel of the entire community. Without us, there's nothing that's going to progress because we need a society that is inclusive. Nobody should be left behind.
We have also seen through our research that we conducted as NACADA quite a while ago that people with disabilities are also being used very badly as drug peddlers. So they peddle bang, they peddle heroin, they peddle illicit alcohol, and that is what we want to stand firm as NACADA against. And we want to say that those who are using people with disabilities to peddle all these substances, your days are numbered. And we want to see people with disabilities being empowered. They cannot be empowered if they're engaging in alcohol and drugs.
Nigo bono egatia baria bari no barema bago kirobo konyi banyora rero na kuburia ogosirwa chinchira aokras chiserikali.
Now through this article or act of parliament, it has been devolved to the governments, both governments, na wote sasa tunawaomba wafanye utekelezaji ambao unaweza ukasaidia mlemavu kufaidika zaidi. Kwa hivyo tena siku ya leo nimefaidika kuwa mmoja wao ambao walipewa mkongojo wa kutembelea. Kwa hivyo nauona ndio huu, na kwa hivyo nashukuru National Council for yale mazuri yote wanatufanyia, na pia tunaomba serikali zote sifuatilie mambo ya Global Disability Summit ya 2025 ambayo ilifanyika Berlin, na wafuatilie ndio walemavu wafanyiwe mahitaji yote ambayo wanahitajika.
I'm asking the county government to focus on the deaf, especially on interpretation. On issues of interpretation, we are facing challenges. Number one, in the hospital, there's communication barriers. When deaf come to the hospital, maybe a woman is pregnant and other different issues they have, there is no interpreter.
Kuripoteria Ensoko TV kure county ya Kisii, Jepethuel Machin. Ekerense ngima egendete gusegeta ogokeani gwa gwichisegi chegenga nigaserit koria rero ryogochengera abaleno bolema asegetigie kerenyo imeye bunge ya North Mugrango county ya Nyamira nigabangina besokia nakoraga okonengetwa n'ichisegi ase abangina bakoragwa na Frontina Ngare nigekerekyo basabire abaraya basubati gosikwa unagotumanya umurikito Steven Nyariki Embunde
Kerense ari gucengera rituko ryabari abamenyete na oborema nabage kerense gendrete ko baki gucengera matuko 15 nomo yo kurwania chisegi chegenka igati yabangina bakoragwa no mutenuni honkaf musubati Frontina Ngare akora hetaro imeyo mochibwe kerenyo eriyo gosemia abantu igoro yobuya bwogota twara chisegi chegenka
abaremafu n'abamo babo balia gender based violence bali bakurwani wanka bachaire babisire bitukolia lero twaita ko baorokia nga nchera ende yonsiteyo mokuangwa barobu mwanya bantu na barobu mukonyara bale kokora kende gyonsi na bali bande bonsi pibako baligereria sobobe ase ofisi yo mongi na cherusha mumanyi ntogoro na tebanga na baimokerie getambokero balia bago chikochaya baremafu na imokerie getambokero balia bakurwania abagaka babo inka na imokerie getambokero balia abangina bago itu nyumba amona abagaka
kupigania mambo ya ambayo yanadhulumu jinsia yote iwe ya kiume ama ya kike. Watu wamezoea kwamba jinsia ya kike ndio mostly huwa inadhulumiwa, lakini kwa ground pia mambo inakuwa tofauti. Na pia wanaume mkidhulumiwa na wamama, mkidhulumiwa pale kijijini, don't be afraid to come and report.
Sisi tukakuja pamoja kwa sababu tuko na 16 days of gender based violence activism here in Nyamira, tukipinga ama tukisema kwamba si vizuri tuwe na gender based violence in our various homes, tuweze kuzungumza kwa uzuri na kwa upole ili tuweze kupunguza visa hivi vya dhuluma za kijinsia. Pia tuliweza kuangalia vyanzo vya kuwa na dhuluma za kijinsia.
Batigire no wanyanyomba atari kumanyana wa ningi kegere lakini rero besokiria so bonge abare ngamo na intuga igatwarorire gento kiri bakonyara neke bataikunyara onona akira serikali itongambie monesenge nchoko bekari tukeri na barubu bainyoru baiguna barubu na mwanya bantu bare
bagukwana kerekyo nigo bagendere boyuko gikiria bokongo gocha chisegi chegenga ichabere chigotungia abasubati asekeria bakweranga asebwango iga women representative we county ya Nyamira mosikecherusha mumanyi asechingwana chiho yorenge mu MCA okare we ward ya Kisi Central mosikekefa murefu oyo tumegeta mangananga cherusha thari kwebo ibuya asabangina baraga bokongo na kweranga nerebuye skebeku ase abasubati
naande bwango iga ntwarora abangina bagokorerwa obochayo bonene amachaya manene wegere kiongozi akenene oyokoro kwa cherusha na tebiwa ngaga gutara atabegeti chianga chiri chansoni ayonsio twachaiga ko yakumera gender based violence omongina omweshimiwa era no mokungu bwa monto era ngina abantu nero monyane na Nyamira county naira amasikania manene mwanya gekonyarekana nga gwetera asare gender based ya chakire kumurwani kurwa saba sacho bonsi bibagotoka Nyamira county ngakirende balia batari kwenyara bebisete ngakibakari koru
bagukwana kerekyo nigo boigo baendere gosingiranga baria bagwetera chisegi chenga nerebya besokiteneni ero kwera maiso marore kwene kingango nyoro bare chinjera bakonyara ko bagokonywa
ebinte ebingo korekana kere ngokorekana bire mono ase enyumba yo mubusi lakini rende toko batebisoka isiko serikali no ere neto bwate seti onyo mukungu gosunyuntu orokarabu tebekene nkwagitu
Steven Nyariki Embunde Ekerenyo North Mugrango county ya Nyamira.
Habari nobolema ime county ya Nairobi nigo bachengeire ritukeriga ase bakora etaro yo murembe ase ebara ya Lang'ata na maiga yaye gukora egikaro ase skuru ya bare no barema ya Kenya Society for the Blind. Moyogoyo oragwa no monogeri bwe serikali Isaac Maura hamwe n'ababwatani bande nigo bayirali bagelyo na gukwanira emichando abali no barema bagwetera ase boigo barua okuboria gutia ase amate gotiga koba ya Chweya na boigo kobaonereria abantu abo ale nayo nigo boigo bayirali bagelyo na kurwa okuboria gutia ase kiumbe gatene ntobosombi bwe para NTSA kwango yali chiko lyokubalinda ase chinara ase batebire nigo bakonyora emichande menge ekero bale ase chibara.
It is an honor to join you today as we mark this year's International Day for Persons with Disabilities. This day calls for us to reflect on our collective responsibility to advance dignity, opportunity, and full participations for all citizens. This year's theme, Fostering Disability Inclusive Societies for Advancing Social Progress, reinforces the principle at the heart of our Constitution that every Kenyan matters and must be enabled to contribute to national development without any form of discrimination. Kenya's commitment to disability inclusion, the government continues to prioritize disability inclusion as a cross-cutting national agenda grounded in the Constitution. The Persons with Disabilities Act of 2025 obligates Kenya's domestication of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. Additionally, our development model, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, also strengthens this commitment by ensuring that persons with disabilities are not left behind in accessing resources, opportunities, and social protection. Through the Better Plan, the government has placed equity, productivity, and inclusion at the center of our economic transformation. The key actions aligned to this agenda include, number one, strengthening social protection through the expansion of cash transfers for persons with severe disabilities and the regular, predictable release of funds, ensuring that households can meet basic needs with dignity. Already, over 50,000 households are benefiting from the Inua Jamii cash transfer program for those with severe disabilities, especially those with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, intellectual disability, and other developmental disabilities. We are also enhancing access to economic opportunities by emphasizing micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, as engines of growth and ensuring that persons with disabilities are supported to access Hustler Fund and business.
Mwancho murigereria nkomanyigwanga egikaro gie Senate kiairanire igoto kwende maseyemo bosi bwe Senate ogendera kubwatia yagendete koene kigwa asumu swada bokumwaka isiko mugavana bwe county ya Nyamira Emos Nyaribo.
Sergeant, ring the quorum bell.
Well, the Speaker of the National Assembly, pursuant to Standing Orders number 34 of the National Assembly, subsection 1 of that Standing Orders that guides the House on matters quorum upon the commencement of business, has directed the Sergeant-at-Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes to give some time or some leeway, if you may like, for members of the National Assembly within the
Eye Ensoko TV uboroso bw'umugusi Onyeko Bwakire ibolyo obosemia gusekero kende gyonsigoro y'emirobiri yaitu y'Ensoko TV twakeresimi ase namba 0788666663 gose tulikiriri ukuri email ensokotv.ke@gmail.com boigo nabugo tutarira service itego tukasamaga hazina towers egoroba ya gatanu narimo asumucyo munene Nairobi. Ensoko TV uboroso bw'umugusi. Magega ya televisioni Ensoko wikasero yao kwa nyori baga ligi yaliyokoralia asegete sena mbeyemo imena isiko yeliroba liyagusi Onyeko Bwakire bwokwenyulia ogukwa gose okubonchulia bono nabokonyoli baga lyabene liyokoralia asegete senieke aseliguri liyakibusani tulikere gose twakeresimi gwitere namba yaitu yobonchulia 0788666662
Buya kegemo mwancho muligari bwa Ensoko TV asoko igoro murangu na gutwanchira goswa enka yawe mambia bono.
Buya kegemo nainde aso twanchira ko bari yogiritangani kwegure nyumba mwago emambie.
Ensoko Bwakire mwancho muligari incheni Innocent Onyango.
Ndemo.
Togenda se gazeti ya The Daily Nation asaba gotebanga ikiama gyo DM gyo kwamba kororekananga gatigati yayo mwatekano nororo ikiama gitamanyikana tigo sekerese serikali kubwatira serikali asomo secretary general asokiri na kugikiria serikali ngichwera kwa negorengani
Raila puppet or ODM lepo matoyo Edwin Sifuna ole secretary general ya ODM secretary general ya rogo saini kurwe binto kurwe kitapa kerege lakini nkoira ni maega kego omuntu mato gukurageria sese ya ukagari egere koge butuko
Omwancho muligere bwa Ensoko TV igetaseni Ensoko TV ibwatira senge nchao
kokoretera amangana amaya
ayatabwati gwanchero korgonsi korime yagusi na isiko yagusi
to kubekera tene ni anyare koba kawateka atabwati gwanchire bonda bwansi
korwa se ebunge ya Kitutu Chache South Meye County ya Kisii elietari anen Caroline Mausa
korwe county ya Nyamira elietari Nyarike Steven Embonde korwa se county ya Kisii elietari ane Wycliffe Orenge
mera na inche Dominic Onderi Nyabuto ekeranya gukoreta magana amaye ko ritukira Jumatatu paka ritukira Jumapili
chini gongoro ko petuel machin na nyora netrobin ya Ensoko TV oboroso bw'omugusi.
Eye n'Ensoko TV, oboroso bw'omugusi.
Buya kegemo mwancho muligari bwa Ensoko TV asoko igoro murangu na gutwanchira gosoa enka yawe mambia bono.
Buya kegemo nainde aso twanchira kobari yogiritangani kwegure nyumba mwago emambie.
Ensoko Bwakire mwancho muligari ncheni Innocent Onyango.
Ndemo.
Togenda se gazeti ya The Daily Nation asaba gotebanga ikiama gyo DM gyo kwamba kororekananga gatigati yayo mwatikano nororo ikiama gitamanyikana tigo sekerese serikali kubwatira serikali asomo secretary general asokiri na kugikiria serikali ngichwera kwa nigorengane
Raila puppet or ODM lepo matoyo Edwin Sifuna ole secretary general ya ODM secretary general ya rogo saini kurwe binto kurwe kitapa keregento lakini nkoira ni maega kego omuntu mato gukurageria sese ya ukagari egere koge butuko
Eye n'Ensoko TV, oboroso bw'omugusi.
Wiyakigima mwancho muligelia wigetaseni Ensoko ngokwarigani naende tokendera kumulikira nari yagendete kwene kigwa asensemeri ye Senate korendo mwancho muligelia ngosabo kwabiranga ali tukolia lero ya Jumatano tugochitwa twaralingana ali Kemoya kolende sengenchi tokendete kokubwatelia ali yagendete kwene kigwa kurugali ya Senate ntogochigokirania umurobelio yoboigo mwancho muligelia ngosaba okwabera ase ali yagendete gokolekana igali ya Senate ndogo chikonyora omorovelio olia omuinoli oyoboneta gochali tukolia lero chinsa ibere cha bono mugoroba kondo mwanchumulilia ali tukolia lero ntobatamangana mange agakolekana kurwimambya boika bono mugoroba musoda boku mwaka isiko mugavana we county ya Nyamira Amos Nyaribo no bakoko ikigwa bosibu ya Senate asaba kagosomerwa ama mochae na boigo ni go basoira asumuti mukokolende nkwira na bale bairanere bikaro byabo elinde bagendere kondo mwanchumulilia eli tukolia lero na boigo gucengera twaringe abantu bale nobole makulende yango ndaligani omugeni ase studio elinde tobeto kumulikira amangana karibu sana
Biamano mwanchwa omurigeria bwa Ensoko TV ando siasuri ngoro ya lero tiga ngokwaninga bwairire na watebire madam mangana mangarenge kulende ngane mwamurero ne impeachment y'umugabana Amos Nyaribo ande bono yaba coincidence ngeko bali tuko rito togo chengera mangana yo bolema na hito tobeke sauti ite seri nganeri yes
okay karibu sana naboko tomanyanga korwa soro gongorwa businga yo korokorwa
ngagete nabere ko mwana ndo wange wesire ko manya lero bese yosa kurigerie TV lero njenkuru Nyamira County kyabanya reward Ensemilia Nyangoge nandi gonde umoliki wemerovelio abo igobwerania ase kiombe Nyamira Society for Persons with Disabilities ase Nyamudro wa kondoka coordinating and communication secretary Second Kenya Nyamira Society for persons with disabilities. Yes.
Karibu sana Wilbur Fosia studio tobe tukumulikira amangana nimetenga ekinangira na chukurugali ase Senate mbabwate ukobwa bugotomanyanga mugavana wi county ya Nyamira Amos Nyeriwo nabe gakogenda nkagose nkoirana ale service gokora obukoreri bwaye kurende tumulikira nginganeyo ngakia yibirengere byagobire
Frida tingi wata birengere byanengo kwane birengere by'abantu bali no bolema Banyamira nseri shika Nyamira Society for persons with disabilities ekera bangere libaga lyoko bakwanira so ekera ngokwana birengere byabo birengere byeto mbiringa tiye Senate ekole justice tiye Senate ligente ka sobo ime kabisa na keligeta kire okolekana nkebasaba kuyiruboge kanchirende yonse ekegera chiza cyale ko bororo nabonda gatego tebanga we are on record nga nantunto wataga petition gaito none impeachment ntangani yo mu governor nkagete bali bakobwatia samangana itama yebitasane tuyansi bike gusine ebinde I personally was a petitioner na nyembono ga mashtaka ito narororo igo ntolengeretinga kolengana intuna abantu bobwa tobolema onye Senate ke tagete wakorera abananchi banyamire gasi someta wakilishi bali baba aba MCA bali galia gotowakilisha so onye bakwanire likely ordinary ngambiko biya byonsi na byonsi biko correct biko ikine percentage yenene ne bibiri correct birabe from where I sit. Yes.
Tari ntunde ntangani tari ntunda ya kabere abara atembere kumurusia abisi kero kenda ebuno mumenyi bwe county ya Nyamira oruchinga ama mocha ya mu bwaternity na yekene.
Okay, kolengananche Frida mbuya a problem to bwaten chengo tata ngari chiko sometimes singo tete ya tonya kegera mangana ali ground na manao ebintu kunga abuse of office ebintu byo kunga korosi gose munabona igenteke nene ngana agatwalire bunge mashinani agatiga bunge eliende it was in the public domain ngachi bunge Nyamira cyarenge bere Frida that was not rocket science nto amatenge bunge njale akole umanga linde yakole rugose nkeroka linde yakole rugose nkai naba MCA gete Nyamira gatwala che county assembly ibere nechi mensi ibere aba speaker balenga babire so igento bune ekyo it's not rocket science. Number 2 ekrotoke unga maybe chibesa areas chiakanrugo chiago chia they have evidence kurwa se payroll nechi pay se human resource wherever nga ebintu barabire kolekana bire na into buna bale mero kroto kwana ngama bagaito na bintu bitu mbiri boronge. It is in the public domain Frida ku 2021 intwe buna bale marwanya Nyamira none ga budget to agatwarire ntwana gotwara a county assembly Nyamira nja 2018 nga disability gere cross cutting issue etakire shughuli kuna kire department lakini muno burayo bwashite in power linganelika correct likagachwa 2023 egasiga korwe nyinge ne kyombe ya Catholic Relief Services bagachakia Nyamira County Disability Act to ekaransege ti on 14th December 2023 tukayechakia abantu bagatenga ichikerio igoli yabuta mpaka linyali gacha kutabona lya Kenya ngimali nene lika override lili lakini kwanyoranga chibe sanko be kuchire ngane chie board ya disability as financial libere chi aitire kurumaega wono ya Frida mangana muna yo montoko bolia wate ibwaye no mubi igento kende kuna bono nto bale maru igento ngire ku weaponization oiste kolegeli on one of my proposed petitions na to the assembly tima timbuli to kibaye ete nje ikirete a county gasako weaponize chi project chi program chi county against abantu bali bakubolia maswali you know abantu we kanasata ngonya Wilbur Fosia kubolia swali yeli nto abo ataga seminar kale ngase gete bono tali gochia kera ko question ya sereka so ama mocha imanga abekire gali Frida onye nto igwaka siasa ekene nkelinga na bwato bolito bwogotebanga omugavana tigakolengaki agende kendo ndadikweba kana bochinza chirato munyokie na igure abanya tengu matenga bono Nyamira ngigenteke na baratwara mamocho nga lakini bono bantu inchirage aletire ga tekoletiki tebuyanerati from where I sit as a person uno monto bono kolengerike mwanya bantu Frida murabwato mwibi oso mwiti ero biro goita abante kenyoro monyoro gwakwa magena I mean chinga ngai turende lakini motenga bono ngamwakorire bobenga mwamutinchirangia kose nchengore bacha kwa jimoina torakura na why am I saying this na iwe argument is take hold water tindi lawyer I could be a legal quack for lack of a better word ngao ngoma tawa MC banyamira ebatakira kwa 35 ngao 2/3 in 24 number 1 nyamira ebwa tawa MC 34 in total mbali 35 number 2 impeachment ya kabere if my memory serves me well nyama yanja bwate my MCA konyora my brother my good friend Elijah may his soul rest in peace and I wish his brother good luck munaguni tikiro okelia konyorali nobody questioning achikuranchi yake tunyamira eturesho lieta kale tiki etaiyo ekegera kwa MCA yo mota teki tarengo bono ngai barutige nteke nga aba MCA batatomba arengo inyansiongo ekerenyo nyama yamba bwate ba MCA so does it mean ekera ba MCA bataiyo babere bunge gutika koro kwe bunge so does it mean kire bintu bunge yabire goetia ekere religious yemata yo I'm sorry to be using his names ekero kebaso ataiyo ekero nyabaro atigiro ba MCA abeiro mo speaker then they should all be nullified Frida I mean that go place yes
yo kodengana naye naranga omuseneta narote banga abagwenerete abairani kyagera ba MC abaigambwango igabachoretu obwenete nande bairani bachaka guwaka chikura mugira
Frida is siasa I think I let my word be taken to bank no I wish I want a lawyer to challenge me on this I want a lawyer to challenge me on this tolera abantu bakubutukenyeye oise gochunguza na National Assembly ebintu byarakorereki byarabeire egakinire yabete abaseneta konye senate tebwati mo seneta obaringo mbona akoreteki achoretwe tima etinga senate yanago etikende konye yanago etia so biko nullified iga National Assembly oyo minto pio wandai na etubo minister John Mbadi akayego minister olingi nominated mpaka bono yatima do so replaced aho ndara correct opio wandai ne minister pono ebunge gotika ko pass resolutions chia enkarabago etie bintu ba etie budget mwako bunge nja etie budget na bintu binde so then I don't know I may be a legal quack and I live to repeat you must tell me na key is this rocket science to kwena nyamira na sekionda ta question tie kerosie mata renko na kebaso why is it coming up now tia ndo tena ki abantu mbatwara political interests against the interests of the people banyamira ekinyo aliri bafridango batebiga mbatebijana mu na ndemba tebi nyasaye
Biamo na sana Wilba Fosingo manyi wakora sensemo ya kabere ye studio na ebikaro bachakire kwiranirere ebikaro byabakolende ntometeri tukeliga nilino lyarenge no nyamagana yo kumwaka isiko nyali baba kago soime kora manyingo mwanchi umuligereria ningiye kogera togochingera litukeliga na raimu abere mu gwikirania semi yake ya maiga na ndi ningi mulingete gochigwikirania sama tukabosya
abiza kwandra analysis ye ishona
Tolera
ibona baba endrete yontu na botoko endrete kalori bakali atoke now ituko togo chengera nilitukoli abege tu na United Nations in 1992 egera bale maruba chamo koligereria na kibara eba gokonyeka kurusia bitango esama gimabo esa achievement ndatoga na makesa na tu achivirie nabona bombo atobosoku wese koligeria event yabanyamira ali ekerenyo not because I was not there igo yali ngitukulia bale maru lakini ntugia pligi ate kiri tuko gender based violence so lende nabokoranga bado bintu byeto mbira correct biraba ntoenderete kurwanirira I want to thank Kisi County na ramba akora it was a bit successful na yo mentaiza kimoro na twale yaye garia thank you so lende nabo ndo chenga ntorekera ni bintu binge lakini nko nabosukitore yes
teatu ngachire toenda sensemeli ya kabere ye studio toiranire bikaro bya senate kolende na batogo chakoli gichingaki tokwanere asobwa galembia mona sana Wilba Fosi asobekera na studio bia mona sana mwanchi umuligeria to sa sensemo ya kabere ye studio.
Senator from Busia County, kindly proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Senator from Taita Taveta County, Senator Maruma, proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Senator Karungo Thangwa, Senator for Kiambu County, proceed to dispatch and also cast your vote. Senator Omtata and Senator Fernande, kindly take your seats. Now, honorable senators, the result of the division is as follows. Ayes 38 votes, nays 4 votes, abstention 0. So the ayes have it. Now, honorable senators, I have a communication to make regarding the effect of the vote on the motion on the preliminary objection. Now, honorable senators, the motion having been approved, the hearing on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County, is hereby terminated. Further, as you will recall, the Senate at the sitting held on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025, resolved to alter its hours of meeting on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025 and Thursday, 4th December 2025 in order to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Nyamira County. In these exceptional circumstances, and pursuant to Standing Order 1, I direct the clerk to circulate a further supplementary order paper containing a procedural motion on the hours of sitting for tomorrow, Thursday, 4th December 2025. Now, honorable senators, you will note that you passed a motion here that you were to sit for 2 days. That's Wednesday, today, and tomorrow. We were to sit tomorrow from 9 until conclusion of business. Having passed this motion, we need not sit tomorrow in the morning, but we need to do that via a motion. And that's why a supplementary order paper has been circulated. We passed that procedural motion so that instead of coming here tomorrow at 9, we come here tomorrow at 2:30. We treat it just like a normal Thursday sitting. I will therefore direct the Sergeant at Arms to withdraw the bar and open the doors. But kindly do not leave. Let us discharge with this motion before we leave. Thank you. Now the parties can leave at your own pleasure. If you wish to continue listening to the proceedings as a member of public, they have to leave, and if they have to listen to the proceedings, they either go to the public gallery or the speaker's gallery, but not from where they are now, because we are done with them. Yes, clerk, kindly call the first order on the supplementary order paper.
Order number 1, communication from the chair. Order number 2, procedural motion, alteration of the hours of sitting.
Senate Majority Leader.
Notice of the motion itself. The motion actually, it's procedural. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the following procedural motion, which is alternation of the hours of sitting, that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on Tuesday, the 2nd of December 2025, to alter the hours of meeting for Wednesday, 3rd and Thursday, 4th December 2025, and aware that on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025, the Senate resolved to terminate the investigations on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwomi Nyaribo, the Governor of Nyamira County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to rescind its resolution made on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025, in respect of the morning sitting of Thursday, 4th December 2025, and to revert to the sitting hours provided under Standing Order number 34 of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, this is self-explanatory. You have explained everything. I don't need to explain further that by dint of the fact that we don't have this process going beyond the stage it has reached, tomorrow we revert back to original sittings. I want to request members, tomorrow is the last day. We have very critical business. We have the mediation committee on the coffee bill. We have delayed this bill for more than a year. I believe you all appreciate what our farmers are going through, and that is the final stage. If we pass it, then it is signed into law. And
December 2025. December 2025, and aware that obligations on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to rescind its resolution made on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025, in respect of the morning sitting of Thursday, 4th December 2025, and to revert to the sitting hours provided under Standing Order 34 of the Senate. Now, honorable senators, the floor is open for debate. With your concurrence, I may proceed straight away to put the question. Do I have your concurrence? Yes. Okay, honorable senators, I will proceed to put the question that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025 to alter the hours of meeting for Wednesday 3rd and Thursday 4th December 2025, and aware that on Wednesday 3rd December 2025, the Senate resolved to terminate the investigations on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to rescind its resolution made on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025, in respect of the morning sitting of Thursday, 4th December 2025, and to revert to the sitting hours provided for under Standing Order 34 of the Senate. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable senators, kindly arise. Now, honorable senators, having concluded the business in the supplementary order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 4th of December 2025 at 2:30 p.m.
Audio